Welcome back to Cape Critiquers, everybody. Today we are becoming the Invincible podcast as we continue watching Invincible. We watched episodes 2 and 3, which are called
Here Goes Nothing and Who You Callin' Ugly.
From season 1.
Yes, season 1. We're going through the whole show.
And we're in the Invincible podcast.
Yeah. The Caped Invincible Critiquers podcast, Invincible.
The Invincible series.
So I'll just start off with something funny. Is that like when we recorded the last one and you were talking about the Damien Darkblood shit?
Yeah, right.
I thought that was like a minute into the episode. That's 17 minutes into the episode.
I know. I must have fell asleep at some point. Woke up and still thought I was watching episode 1. Yeah. All right. Well, I caught up.
He's actually a pretty good character, though. It's a play on Hellboy, but
Yeah.
It's like Hellboy and Constantine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about it last time.
Yeah.
Did we all like these two episodes?
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah, no,
Very
this,
good.
For me, yeah, I'm a newcomer to this.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
When he first turned me on to it, this series this season really grabbed me because it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely parts of stuff we've seen before, like the young guy learning his powers.
Yeah.
But the way it's done in this, he's being taught by his father what to expect. He's sort of brought up in it like a kid. Okay, this is how you fly, and it's interesting. Now you see him starting to work with contemporaries and still feeling it out. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The
Yeah.
character building
Yeah.
is, well, the first 3 episodes, but the character building is got me grabbed. Yeah.
Yeah. The father stuff is definitely interesting because it's kind of like a sports movie almost, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you just don't even care about like your relationships with people because it's like the sport is more important. But he's like talking about like he just like does not care about like his friends dying apparently.
that's
let's
part
go
of
get
the
a
job,
pizza.
right?
But that's what he's also trying to. That's
talking
going to
about pizza.
happen. You know?
Yeah.
And it does actually happen.
Yeah.
So
Like, to me, the cool part is they've already shown us who he is.
Yeah.
So we know he's not the good guy.
yeah,
And yet, the way he plays off being the good guy, I totally, I'm sucked in. I mean, everybody around, the son still thinks the father loves me, and he's only here to help me train and whatever. But after we seen what he did,
and it's actually pretty cool because they actually do have the catch.
Yeah.
Except he's throwing the ball around the world.
yeah,
So
Also, thank God that the show didn't do the thing where like he's just out the entire season.
Yeah.
It lasted an episode, and
Yeah.
he's back.
yeah,
You're
no.
saying like he wasn't like knocked out.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just like whole fucking mystery.
It was awesome. I mean, for me, like the aliens, they were fighting the aliens. They were putting up as good a fight as they could, and then he comes along and makes it look easy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
makes it look like these guys.
I like the thing where it's like they kind of play that moment as if like it's like, oh my god, he's gone, like he just got
yeah,
Yeah.
lost in this portal, and then like the mom makes like the little comment like, oh, this is just like another Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm sure he's resolving it peacefully. Well, he goes in there, he's like, I don't think you understand. Earth is not yours to conquer. And then he just goes off.
Yeah.
and
And
that's great
It's
because
so good.
no one else knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But and I had discussed this with you. Honestly, that's the only thing you probably could do because these guys are going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
And they're going to come back with better technology, better ways to stop your powers
Well,
or whatever.
I think there is something where like so we see Invincible taking on the role of fighting the guy who comes to Earth every
Right.
few years, and we see him just like resolve it peacefully.
Yeah.
Instead of like
We see
because he
it,
just
yeah.
like talks to them instead of actually
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
The guy
Seth
on the
Rogen.
moon.
Oh,
yeah.
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 So I feel like it's just like we don't even see him care to like do that.
Right.
Omni-Man.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, no.
And I mean, like, I still fucking love that scene. Like, it's just like so. There's so many like little parallels in every episode and everything. It's just amazing.
I also just love the animation of the whole scene where, again, he enters the portal and you see that white glow in his eyes. You know he's there to just brutalize. And the other thing is following how fast that world like moves.
Right.
You see him do this in like a matter of 5 minutes, but he ages quickly.
Yeah.
He has got a
Right. He
beard,
comes
black and
back
white
with the
beard.
full beard and
Yeah. Oh, I need to
Yeah.
take a shower.
and he made a point of grabbing the big guy
Yeah.
and banging him until he was just a skull, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that guy did also like step on fucking somebody
Oh,
at the
yeah.
start of
Yep.
Come Back or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, that was awesome.
That scene, by the way, is just like why people put him up against Superman because it's just like fucking going across a planet, fucking zigzagging, and just
Yep.
like taking out the city and then going to the satellite. It's just fucking just like such an insane feat of power.
Right.
Yeah. I think you made a good point that like there's just a lot of great parallels, and I think it sets up kind of like exactly like who each of these characters are going to be and like what makes them different from each other really well.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is him trying to figure out his love life, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they made it interesting. It wasn't just the triangle love affair kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was very cool cheating with somebody like Duplicate.
Oh
You
my
know.
God. Yeah. Oh jeez.
That's the way to go. That's
Yeah.
a pretty cool superpower now.
But even like I even love that line where he's just like, oh, "It's not really her," and she's like, "No, we're all."
Just to fucking show how much of a douche he
He's
is.
just an asshole.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's also that opens up with the eulogy and the whole thing, just stone cold, and he does the eulogy. He probably did feel something for those people, but he also has a mission.
Oh yeah, I don't
So,
think he ever
I
felt
don't
anything
think I
for
honestly
anybody.
don't think he
You know?
feels anything for
You know.
anyone around.
And then hey, anybody want a pizza?
That was
Yeah.
the coldest move. He just goes in like it was a normal work
Yeah.
day.
I could go to my to Milan and
Well, he actually
what's called.
corrected his wife though. His wife said, "Oh, your friend just died. He's co-workers."
yeah.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, he does what he has to do.
But even like that little tension with the son, where he's like he wants to go upstairs and he grabs him by the and he looks at him like with that glare, and then the mom comes in, she's like, yeah, and then he goes up. But like I could already see the tension there with building up between the two.
That's kind of normal too, though. You have a teenage kid,
Yeah.
and you're not always going to agree with their parents and stuff.
Yeah.
But writing is right on.
Yeah. I love the one scene where he has a suit on still, and he's like gonna go back up to the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just fucking funny.
Maybe you want to change.
Also, just like it's so fucking comedic, just like him, like making him wait.
Yeah.
Fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say that episode alone was also very funny. Just like him. What was Doc Seismic episode 2 or episode 3?
3.
Okay, well, yeah. So
Three.
that
Mount
episode alone
Rushmore,
was just like
yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Just like Doc Seismic just having a fucking liberal arts degree first. It's just fucking funny. And that being like his motivation. It's just fucking funny.
But they always seem to throw in something that's like really cool, though. I mean, like you said, the way they were talking, like initially they said it was Doc Seismic's gloves, and the kid's like, oh, they're not really gloves. You could put your hand, right? They're more like bracelets.
Yeah.
Yeah. I even liked the Mauler brothers escaping.
Uh-huh.
I
Yes.
thought that was cool.
That was
And then he turns on. I don't even know who's the clone at this point, but
Right.
You never know. That's
Yeah.
the good part is. I just like their bickering going back and forth.
Say it.
Yeah,
Say it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
like
you
even
stay here
they're
forever.
just like, oh fuck, it's pot pie night. It's any other night.
What's the deal with Monster Girl?
Yeah, she's a cool
So-
character.
She is
But
cool. So every
also-
time she becomes the monster, she decreases in. She
gets younger.
slightly younger.
That's
So
I
she's
thought
like, you
was
wouldn't know, like, what, I'm 21 or something?
yeah. But I thought that was such a cool flip to her power.
Yeah.
When because Robot wanted to do training 3 times a
Yeah.
day or something,
Yeah.
and she's like, no,
Yeah.
unless you want to change my diapers by the end of the week, you know.
So basically, at one point, like we were talking earlier about, she's gonna be useless.
Eventually,
Because-
if the more she changes, I mean, she's going to get to the point where she's going to be 5 years old.
Yeah, who's
you
gonna
know.
carry a baby?
Who's
into
going to
battle?
carry a kid into battle?
Yeah, it's a curse.
Yeah. Or actually, maybe they should have taken her to that world where the aliens were from, aged her up, and then bring her back. You know,
Yeah.
start all over. But yeah, she's pretty cool. She's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Again, I love that fight. Look at where they all get picked, and then the jackass is just like, a girl? She just turns on and boom.
Oh,
I like also like after they reconcile and everything, and they're the robot's kind of talking about the team or whatever. He's like, I'm gonna ship blood.
Yeah, he's got that, I want to say, Deadpool attitude where nothing bothers him, and he's always coming out with these freaking lines.
But then he's just like fucking Gambit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool power though. I like how he has like I don't even know what they are. It's like
Coins or discs.
I
or something.
guess
Yeah.
But like they can also like form into like rods too.
Yeah.
Whatever he carries. Yeah, Rexblood's a good character though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually hasn't beaten anybody's ass, though.
He's getting his ass beat.
Yeah. Quite significantly.
Yeah.
I also feel though like with the teen group or whatever, it's like you can clearly see how they're like kind of building it up to be like, okay, like everyone kind of has to grow up and like take being a superhero more seriously, like all in different ways, kind of. Yeah, like Rex is kind of just like still immature. Mark is still kind of grappling with the responsibility of all of it.
And if he wants to even be part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing to get to the point where you're you're a hero. You're supposed to save people, but sometimes you can't save everybody. So are you really a failure if you saved 200 people, but 10 people died?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And how do you turn it off?
And how do you turn it off?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like the opening with the like security guard again.
Yeah. You called me dad.
Yeah, just like it's such a nice little like parallel with I guess Invincible and his
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invincible, invisible.
Yeah.
Also, are you guys enjoying, or have you like kind of realized yet that the title sequence, like,
I love the way they do
Always starts with him
Yeah.
saying something
Yeah.
and ending with
it. Invincible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invincible.
Or somebody
Subtitles.
will
And it just
say
keeps
something
getting
invincible.
bloodier.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah. Oh,
That's a really smart move on whoever designed it like that.
yeah,
That's really cool.
it is like one of my just favorite intro title card things.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like intros are like so, just like kind of gotta evolve a little bit.
it's like perfectly, like, the show doesn't need like a whole big intro theme thing, which is
Yeah.
such like a Saturday morning cartoon, like into
Yep.
the like 2000s type of thing.
Yeah.
Like even in like the 2000s and 2010s, like, I mean, even now, like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man has it.
Well, it's also just like such a fucking gimmick for like even something to just like Netflix to like put a 90-minute thing onto like every single show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even Daredevil too. at this point.
Every TV show started like that back in the day. You had that whole thing, and then from season as the season evolved, if it became a hit show, they would change it slightly and update it.
But like Invincible, not only
Mm-hmm.
having something that just like such like a quick, like, just establishing what you're watching, I guess, as if you didn't know in the
Yeah.
streaming age, and then also like having it woven into
The
every
story.
like a sequence, opening sequence of the episodes is just like, yeah, significantly better than repeated song every time. you
Right.
know?
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
It's stuck in your head.
What did you think of Mark and Eve like immediately figuring out each other's identities?
Seems like he figured out.
He figured it out right away
Yeah.
because when he was out in the field with her, we'll say, he recognized her from school. So when he was in school, he's like, he just went straight over, and that was
Yeah.
that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like, wow, wait, I know you.
Yeah.
I kind of thought her explanation was pretty cool too.
Mhm.
You're not expecting to see a superhero at school, you won't.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she's definitely, and that's the other thing also. So she's like the hot girl who's a little bit more mature than he is, and so that's the thing
and,
as
and
well.
she's been doing it for
A long
longer
time.
than he has.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. Come meet the group. We'll help you out. You
Yeah.
want to talk about it? I like that
Mm-hmm.
rapport between
Yeah.
heroes.
Yeah.
You didn't get that right. Try it this way. I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, which is a nice parallel between that and then learning from his father, who obviously has his own way. And we know a little bit more than Mark knows at this point what his father's way is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What did you think of Cecil having the house bugged?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that was
you
interesting.
know, that's the
Yeah.
whole underground
but I'm sure
government thing.
I'm sure
so-
the father knows. He I'm sure
Yeah.
of it.
Well, I think so. Like Viltrumites don't have like super senses,
Mhm.
which is interesting. It's just like they're very strong because they don't have laser eyes or
Right.
anything either. It's just
Yeah.
like
Right.
strength and
Yeah.
speed, I guess.
Yeah, he might suspect, but
Just knowing Cecil.
I think it was cool when at the very end of episode 3 with the demon being there, and he kind of knew he was there because
Yeah,
every time
yeah.
the breath. But I kind of dig that as a separate story too. The underlying things. This guy's gonna keep investigating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked his power too, where it's like when he kind of touches the crime scene, like he gets flashes of
Right.
it.
Right.
Whole place getting cold too. It was funny.
Yeah. I mean, I also even liked like Cecil's team, kind of just seeing, I don't know, just like hyper tech, like cleanup crew for like superhero related stuff. It's just like the type of stuff in like Marvel that we don't ever like see, kind of like behind the scenes, like Shield stuff, really.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to
Right.
see that type of stuff.
Which they don't. It's not
Cecil could
around
just show
anymore,
up on
right?
a site. You
Shield
know?
isn't around anymore. Now it's the Department of
It's
Damage control.
Yeah.
Damage
Yeah.
Control, something
Yeah.
like that. Which to me sucks.
Sucks.
I like Shield.
Well, I don't know. They got to do something with it, or it's just like
does Shield exist or no? Because
I think it does,
Nick Fury still around?
but I don't know. They just haven't done
Or
any.
he's off
any much.
world because Secret Invasion.
Well, that's
whatever.
fucking Shield and Sword, and
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
isn't
Sword and Saber and isn't Saber something too?
I think so. Yeah.
a knife?
Hammer.
Knife.
Hair?
Hammer.
Hammer. Is it real?
It's Norman Osborn. He turns Shield into. Anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, favorite scenes would probably be from episode 3. I want to say probably had more for me. I liked just like the whole Doc Seismic sequence, and then just like cutting back and forth with like having to go back to his like other date essentially.
Mhm. Yeah.
I like that.
But in an odd way, they both seemed like being on dates.
Mm-hmm.
Him working with Eve and going back and then having the other date, but we see which way that went at the end. But still, I like that scene as well because it was done well. Even though he's a quirky character, they did it properly.
Yeah.
Good storytelling all the way through.
It is funny that like they were able to like flip it into like a good date. I guess after a fucking hour or whatever. I guess my favorite scenes are just Omni-Man going into the fucking place and just destroying the whole place, and then
I don't really have a ton of stuff I don't like from these.
I don't think I have any least favorites, and then also just Doc Seismic and the whole. I really like him doing the little like fucking tornado drill thing.
I think my favorite was Duplicate coming out of the shower.
Oh boy!
Just gave me a whole new understanding of that superpower.
I gotta say my favorite's the same thing as you when he invades the planet and what he says to them and just goes off. And J.K. Simmons is like the perfect person
that
to
helps.
pick
That
for
voice
this
just-
voice.
Yeah, that voice
Amazing.
is incredible. But yeah, like Marvel has, I think the name of the character is Matrix, right? That he could multiply himself.
Yeah.
Right. And I always said it's fucking stupid. But Duplicate was just kind of raised the bar a little bit.
I'm like pretty sure that there's like 20 different X-Men that kind of have that power.
That could just make
Yeah.
copies of themselves.
Well, there is the like big one. Yeah, I forget.
They even
So
had
I
it
think
in
it's
the
just
boys.
multiple man.
multiple. Man.
They even had it in the boys.
Yeah.
They had the guy who could
Yeah.
do that. Of course, they played with that in its own
Well,
way as well.
And we also in the prison see like a guy that also has the power in this.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
I have to say it, even though I know he's a bad guy, I really enjoy when supers use their power like they know they're dominant. That, I mean, he gives no quarter.
Yeah.
And he's there to do what the hell he's got to do. And I kind of enjoy that. I like seeing someone using their full powers or whatever.
That's
Well, I
a
guess like
Viltrumite.
when we have a reason to hate, or just like not even like if you have no reason to like care about who's getting dominated, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. And not like without even like spoiling, like he's essentially a god. He's like the strongest character in the universe of
Right.
what we're seeing. So I do enjoy like how they're building him up, and I'm just excited for you guys to just continue watching, I guess.
Yeah.
But see, the telling thing is Cecil's been around. Cecil knows. So Cecil's has to assemble another crew to get stuff done. And he goes to the teens and gets that. But he keeps that separate of Ultraman because he knows
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man because he cannot rely on that. He knows that.
he may not trust it.
And there's also that. Something happened here and you're the only one that lived, and he still has that in his mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's getting done what he has to.
Yeah.
That's smart.
I know you guys finished basically. I'm the only newbie that hasn't.
I only watched the first season, so you're good.
I'm actually enjoying going back because I picked things up now that I didn't remember. Now knowing the characters and their build, it's funny seeing how that happens, and I'm actually finding it.
And their episodes are long.
Yeah,
45 minutes.
The one
I'm
thing-
enjoying that.
Well,
you
the
know,
one
it's
thing
not-
I also like about the episodes is at the end of the episode, then they have like that little, bonus thing at the end.
Yeah.
I love that about this series. I really do. That's something telling going into the next or what have